I'm next going to hand over to Graham from DNV and Peter from SGN, who are going to be presenting on low carbon hydrogen digital twins. So over to you, please. And your screen's just come through, Graham.
Great, thanks very much, Simon. So hi everyone, my name is Graham Faiz. I'm the Innovation and Digital Lead at DNV. Thanks for the invitation to present at this week's call, where I'll talk a little bit about our work with SGN to explore low carbon hydrogen digital twins. Okay, so brief introduction to DNV. We're an independent assurance and risk management company, and some of you may recall that last summer we presented our methodology for the qualification and assurance of digital twins. Absolutely delighted to be joined for this short presentation by Peter Phillip, application architect at Gas Distribution Network, SGN, whom we're partnering with on this project. I'm going to start by passing to Pete to provide an initial overview of our concept. Pete, over to you.
We can't hear your audio, Peter. Sorry. Still no audio.
I'll maybe take the slides,
Yes.
Simon,
Good.
in the interest of time. Okay, so I'm going to start with I guess a little bit of background as to what's the kind of the physical engineering of the project that we're ultimately hoping to model. So some of you may be aware that SGN are involved in an Ofgem funded project to build out a concept called H100 Fife, which is I guess ultimately a world first hydrogen to homes network that is aiming to demonstrate and provide, I guess, the evidence for the safe and resilient supply of hydrogen, 100% hydrogen, to homes. So around 300 real homes around the back end of this year, start of next year, will receive or sign up, volunteer, and start to receive 100% hydrogen as an energy supply, both for cooking and for heating. And this £28 million project will be built up in Fife at the Levermouth Energy Park. The supply chain for which is shown on the right hand side of this slide. So powered by a wind turbine, which in turn via electrolysis creates green or low carbon hydrogen through the injection of water and electricity. The hydrogen is then stored into 6 on-purpose on-site tanks, and then ultimately distributed through a gas network to real homes. So that's the physical part. What about the digital part? So back at the back end of last year, SGN partnered with ourselves at DNV, National Grid, and Amazon Web Services to start to build out a project that will ultimately see a digital twin of this low carbon production facility be built. The project was formally greenlit in February 2022 as part of the Ofgem Strategic Innovation Fund portfolio of activities. And as I say, the concept is ultimately to both demonstrate the need for and then to build a digital twin of this real H100 Fife use case, but also develop a concept that's completely applicable and replicable to future low carbon hydrogen facilities, plant facilities in the future. What's the scope? So this slightly complicated diagram, I guess, really shows what we're trying to model. So I've already alluded to the fact that low carbon green hydrogen generation is all about using effectively electricity from renewable sources. Bottom left hand side, we've got the actual wind turbine that we'll use, the ORE catapult own turbine at Levermouth. There'll be some backup power. We'll inject water. We'll go through a process of electrolysis. We'll compress the gas down. We'll store it in some high pressure storage containers. We'll let the pressure back down again. We'll undergo a process of custody transfer, and then ultimately distribute that gas to real homes. So that's the concept we're trying to model. But what about the digital piece? Where are we now? So I'll quickly walk through some of our key activities to date, starting with the assumptions or questions that we're validating. And before we start to build anything, we really want to test the market and business benefits of building a digital twin of a green hydrogen facility. And that ranges from the commercial, societal, and operational benefits resulting from such a solution through to how it can support an emerging hydrogen economy, support government ambitions, and perhaps the point that will resonate most with this community, how it will interact with the electricity system, water utility, transport industry, and the consumer in a connected fashion. So we spent time connecting with a broad cross-section of industry, both across the energy sector and beyond. So where are we today? Well, here are some example user stories written very much from the perspective of the facility operator. So the key themes here are how a connected digital twin can help manage that variation of inputs to the gas network as it becomes increasingly distributed and supply and demand is balanced. You know, how such a production system will support connectivity to renewables and other utilities, and how it will drive transformation of network planning in the future. On the right hand side, you'll note the key functional elements that will work with the H100 team to build out, with the initial focus areas very much being around capturing data from the plant via sensors and industrial IoT. So the flow of data from renewable electricity generation and the water utility and the subsequent outputs to the gas distribution network, really key for us, and all connected to themes that we're building up in AWS's TwinMaker solution. Okay, so a quick look at what that means in terms of data. So as we've started to build out our concept, it's perhaps very evident different segments of the supply chain will very much be connected for the first time as hydrogen starts to flow into our networks. And those businesses will potentially be exposed to risk from their partners in this chain. So for example, technical risk could be introduced by unknown or below specification gas into the network. Financial risk could be introduced by matters such as variable reliability of energy supply impacting on continuity of operation, or operational risk could arise due to failure to balance the multiple needs of the hydrogen production system, so balancing water, power, storage. So for us, the underlying data and how that is used to manage the relationship between production, storage and the demand side starts to become extremely important. So you know, that's what we're learning. Where now? So we all know that the energy industry will undergo major changes as we strive for net zero, and it's ultimately this move to a more decentralized energy production system across many of our geographies that will create very complex energy flows. So for organizations like SGN, understanding the potential economic impact of a whole systems transformation in terms of market uptake, consumer demand, and future infrastructure investment in energy related initiatives such as hydrogen really requires establishing trust in the data underpinning the business. So whilst this is happening, you know, we've got this backdrop of stability needing to be managed and maintained throughout the current system at all levels, which we only see increasing as in importance as the energy transition starts to accelerate. So I think the message is actually quite simple. You know, we've got to keep customers safe and warm. We want to ensure security of supply. We want to balance supply and demand in an increasingly distributed network. Okay, quick look at what that means then for interoperability. So for us, this is key. So creating safe, trusted and unstructured data transactions between actors in the UK energy system to really manage and track attributes of the energy product is very important for us. And I guess aligned to the vision of so many on this call, this will be done through an ecosystem of connected twins, so gas, electricity, water, renewables and more. But we also need to start somewhere. So our next step is really to start building out our concept, using H100 as a real world use case, and the connecting to local authorities, the community and industry, continually checking in with the themes that we've outlined here. Really key for both H100 and our project is to provide learning outcomes. Okay, so like so many, we see a future hydrogen-based gas network that will be data-driven, and I guess from the customer conversations we've been having, we see broadly three key drivers for such twins. So encouraging rapid decarbonisation, delivering high levels of stability and additional resilience with a focus on safety, and optimising the whole system in a connected supply chain. So that will require solutions to be driven by business need over technology, but also require investment in people and skills to increase organisational maturity. It will require a reasonably urgent focus on installing data quality best practices and governance, and it will require us to trust the output of any digital systems that are installed. So that's a very whistle-stop kind of overview and tour. We're just at the start of our potentially very exciting journey. If there's anything here that's piqued your interest, or if you want to connect with us, please do reach out to Pete and I, and we'd love to have a chat. Back to you, Simon.